tapping in.
Are we live?
Yeah. I get that. But is we live though? Is we like all the way live though? You heard?
Yo, I could never enough, right? I could never make it seem special as it is for us to review K.R.I.T.
Yo, man. The cool thing about having your own show is that you get to give out the props that you've never had the chance to be able to give out. You get to say something into the ether in the direction of people that you respect. And what I want to do is use our platform to thank Big K.R.I.T, man. Thank Big K.R.I.T. K.R.I.T has been medicine. K.R.I.T has been... K.R.I.T's music is truly that music that you use to get through, and he's so intentional about making sure that his music is exactly like that. And we've watched K.R.I.T grow for such a long time. And if this episode is about anything, it's about thanking K.R.I.T as somebody who his music has continuously been able to lift up, even again this weekend again. Man, shout out to K.R.I.T. One of the most consistent in the game.
Big facts, man. Big facts. Digital Flowers Never Die is a great addition to a catalog that, as you said, man, has just been healing to a brother, you know. And K.R.I.T's an artist that I always try to go into anything we listen to without expectations, but with K.R.I.T, your expectations are useless, like utterly, like, you know, you can have whatever you can have, but he's always reaching for something greater, always reaching for something original. And while there's things that I can compare Digital Roses Don't Die to, there's it's a great contribution to music right now. And I hope that we hear more. Like K.R.I.T can do whatever he wants after this, for sure, to me.
And I think what you're reaching to is that he is experimental, right? From the sounds that he was using from King Remembered in Time, even before that Saturday celebration track, which, you know, he always strives to create a very, the K.R.I.T formula in that album is this. You're gonna get a sub song, is sometimes titled Sub or Subwoofer, you know, the Sub series.
Yeah.
You're gonna get something for the sound. It's made to bang in your speakers. You're gonna get a ballad of sorts. You're gonna get an epic song. Then you're gonna get some love songs, right? And a whole lot of creativity. And I think in that formula, especially starting from, dare I say, It Was Better This Way, where that type of formula started kicking in. Obviously hitting the epitome, I think, when he dropped the double disc.
Forever is a mighty long time.
Forever's a mighty long time.
And I appreciate you bringing the discography of this man into the conversation, right? This is somebody who we've seen on a trajectory up, right? We see him come into the game, putting out the type of music that immediately put him in the conversation with people that we see running the mainstream now, right? J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick. But we've seen a choice both in his own production and in maybe even truth in his own music of the way that Southern artists are sometimes pigeonholed, right? And put in a certain box and category. But we've seen him just continue to let the music speak for himself. So from everything from Cadillactica, which I think represents how he came into the game and who he was and his persona as a rap artist in that space, to things like Forever, which is a mighty long time, which is like almost his beautiful dark twisted fantasy, right? This beautiful capsule of what he's able to do. When an artist does a double disc, you know it's serious. So the first half, right, the Justin Scott and the Big K.R.I.T, the duality of being able to rap, being able to put down lyrics in a way that not a lot of artists can, being able to put together words in a way that and kill beats in a way that not a lot of rappers can, but also to be able to construct beats and craft masterpieces. He's dynamic, bro. He's super dynamic.
It's super dynamic, and we keep going back to that forever is a mighty long time because since that came out, I think the confidence level that we've seen of Crit has elevated, right? In terms of being like, all right, cool, I've given you now a double disc of what you want. You want the front side where it's straight up what you love about Crit, all those slappers, all those sub plays, or do you like the dreams esque type side of it, where we're diving deep into who he is as an artist, using samples and features from Jill Scott and Robert Glasper, and getting real dynamic with the sound, right? And since then, he came out, he was like, not that I've been able to do that, I'm just straight up going to be able to put out the type of music that I want to put out. Saw that with Crit Is Here, intentionally crafted, coming out with a statement. I feel like from Crit Is Here, getting into Digital Roses Never Die, it definitely is a more toned down version of the Crit, whereas Crit Is Here was establishing that he's here, but then with Digital Roses, I think he took a lot more risks in terms of the sounds that he was able to put out, and a lot of times those risks don't always sit well with people. How did those risks, in terms of the new sound that Crit was trying to experiment with, sound come off to you?
You know, when I first heard it, I was like, yo, I was along for the ride, right? Like, cool, artsy interlude to start it off. That sets the mood right there. I know we're not going into something that's gonna be super like rapidy rap heavy, right? That's not he's not trying to prove anything about his rapping ability on this record. Cool. Interlude was a good way to like let us in, right? South Side of the Moon, anything with Southside in the title got me hooked. So like that's kind of unfair, but I rock with it. Like, that's a great song and definitely one of my highlights, right? Um, Show You Right isn't one of my favorite songs on the album, but it fits here and it continues to let you know that this album is going to be about um it's not gonna is has no interest in staying within what's clearly defined as hip hop. It is just gonna allow the point of the story to tell itself and to dictate what type of sonics you're gonna hear. So I think from track 3, I started to look for like, all right, what is he going for here? What's the theme? Right now that I knew kind of what we were gonna get, I was looking for it, and it's love, man. And to me, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Definitely with Crit, a lot of the sound experimentation that he utilizes is what repels people away, and I think at times has been the reason why he's not featured on the top conversations list, like as you had mentioned, the Kendricks, the Coles, the Drakes, because there was a particular point in time where all of those people were on the same level. We're talking now 2014, 2013, where you had the conversation was Crit, Cole, uh, Kendrick, and Drake, and who would emerge from those as the front runner. Obviously, Drake was leading at that moment, but it was a lot closer. And for some reason, it does seem as though Crip might have kind of taken, and this might be from public perspective, a step back from that lane and is no longer considered in that conversation. And it was cool to see him address that in in his songs where he's saying south side of town, where he's like, it's cool they don't say my name. I'll smile in these mansions, because he is a very accomplished artist and deserves to be compared to those guys.
Yeah, we have a couple weeks running of talking about artists who've carved out like a comfortable space, not in the direct spotlight of the mainstream, with Cousin Stiz, with Yo Gotti, right? Like these are artists that are successful and comfortable and not having to be the guy that's on the tip of everybody's tongue, right? Crit is so comfortable in that he's getting way left with it, right? He's going from being comparable to some of those guys to like, you know what this album reminded me of, bro, was Tetsuo and Youth. This
Oh
reminded
wow, Lupe.
me, you got the same interludes, not the same, but like, all right, fire, wind, all right, spring, summer, some incredible displays of lyrical ability, but not over typical beats, right? He's swinging to be put in another class, right? And if Big Crit continues to make music the way he's making it, he's gonna be one of the black dots. As we get older, some of the guys that are still appearing on some of the classier, more classic sounding tracks, right? Because he's just so versatile and his music is maturing in a dope way.
I will say that the risks that he took on this album so happen to be some of my favorite risks that he has taken. Um, some of the songs that I would have expected to like, I wouldn't completely say resonated with me as much as Crit is here. So in terms of where I would rank this in Crit's discography, which is another thing, Crit has a very well-rounded discography. It is so tough to rank Crit's discography. Crit can stand there with a lot of people in terms of the quality of the albums that he's done. And if I think about it, like you said, if I were to be a rapper, the rapper I'd want to be is Big Crit. I think I'd want to be Big Crit because you've earned the respect of being able to experiment as much as you can. You are respected by your peers. You have a following that is always going to be able to support you, and you can be as music, and you are a producer on one side, a director on one side, respected as an artist. I think Crit might have the most comfortable place in hip hop.
I love that choice, man, and especially as somebody who, from a creative perspective, seems like he's in a pocket where he can take that feeling and make the beat and make the lyrics right. And when you're able to express yourself like that, you're in an incredible space. So, man, give some more highlights of this album, man. I would say that South Side of the Moon, Road Clean, those are my top two from like that kind of first segment. I was all right on kind of between Earth and Water. I was like, that's those tracks are cool. So Cool is really dope. I really like that. Just for You is definitely like it's decent, but it's really the tracks from Water to Wind, that Boring, that Would It Matter, that Generational Way Down. That Generational Way Down, boy. Woo, that man's getting into some serious topics right there. When
Uh-huh.
that's mature music right there, man. So I really that's my stretch. Boring, Would It Matter, Generational Way Down. Then some of the tracks at the end, All the Time, that's dope. But man, there's a lot here. There's a lot here.
Interesting, man. Interesting. My stretch, I would say, is that it's over now. The Wet Lashes and Shot Glasses. That to me has one of the best switch ups that you'll hear, man. That shit slaps so hard all the time. Super super strong as well. South Side of the Moon. I'm not gonna lie. There's some love songs in here that are beautiful and melodic, and maybe, you know, given the right circumstances, would resonate a little bit differently. But it does have less technical slappers, but that South Side of the Moon is a standout track. If you like hip hop, you're gonna love that song. All the Time is epic. Um, Wet Lashes and Shot Glasses, epic too. All around, an enjoyable listen. Mature hip hop. You gotta love that mature hip hop.
So let me ask you this, right? Where are some of the environments? Because as I was listening to this, I was like, some of this music I really, really like, but it's not for everywhere, right? Where are some of the places and spaces you hear yourself listening to this in the future?
Crit's best heard in a car, bro. You know that. Crit is best heard in a sound system, and I feel like he intentionally creates songs like albums based like that. The My Sub series is just that. It's literally 6 My Sub songs of just straight sub play. If you have a subwoofer, you just turn that up to the loudest, and you just hear him flexing with that bass play, which is always dope. So that's the best place to hear. That's the best place to hear Crit.
I hear that. I hear that. The car for sure can't overlook that for Crit. But I'm hearing a lot of kickback music in this, man. And there's something about like hip hop fans. A lot of times, no matter who the artist is, we want some rapidy rap stuff. But we've gotten some amazing albums, I would say, in the last 6 to 8 months that complement this one. I'm gonna definitely be playing this all mixed up with Saba's album, all mixed up with Mick Jenkins' album, all mixed up with Corday's album. We're getting some very mature, like chill, vibey, but like meaningful music, man. This is there. This is the incense burning, vinyl turning. This is that. This is soulful to me. This is afros and dashikis and all that warm, beautiful.
We call this that get by music, man. This that get by music. And Crit music doesn't live too far away from Cole music in my rotation, and I tend to, because I've discovered both artists around the same time. I enjoy both of those artists in the same way. definitely something that's worth a listen. I enjoy it. Y'all guys will let us know what music y'all enjoy in the comments section. People love songs of For the Baby. I talk about some playlists that are being made. And speaking of which, we do drop playlists every single Wednesday on the SoundCloud list because we're giving people that content, Mouse.
Big facts. That's what we do, man. The other thing we do is rate albums. We can't get out of here without blessing this one. I'm at like four. I'm at like a four, 5 with this one. Where you at with this one?
I'm down to settle at a 4. I'm down to settle at a 4 out of 5 mics. Doesn't it doesn't top our album of the year so far, but as a K.R.I.T fan, we saw K.R.I.T live last year and in 2019, which was the last live show that we went to. I was with you, my brother. We went to go see K.R.I.T live for the second time. It is always a spiritual experience. I can't wait to hear this album live as well because we're definitely gonna go.